Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. Happy Friday to all. Friday means prop party. That's right. We're going to cover our favorite props, our favorite touchdowns, our favorite parlays, and we're going to do so in just 1 minute. That's right. Again, happy Friday to all. Look forward to having a little prop party with you guys here. I'm, of course, joined by my brother, and our friend Tyler will be here in just 1 minute. We're going to cover our favorite props, our favorite touchdowns, our favorite parlays for Week 7 slate. Steve, how are you doing today?
Doing good. You know, we saw a great game last night to start the week. And, you know, we're starting to get some clarity on some of these injury situations. So definitely going to be an interesting, obviously, two big name teams on bye, even though the Ravens haven't played like it, Ravens and Bills. So,
Oh, did you freeze? I'm not sure if you froze. Steve is visiting me here in Baltimore, so he may have froze. Steve, if you want to jump in and out. Mike says living room, Steve. That's right. Steve is visiting me in my living room, and I am in my office, but I am very excited. My brother is here visiting this week in good old Baltimore, Maryland. Steve, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, don't know what happened.
We need to get some Ethernet cable run to you in the living room. Mike says I'm hogging the internet. It kind of looks like it right now. We were good yesterday, but today it's a little rough. No, we had a great game last night for sure. And Steve and I are turning the tides. Last week, I was visiting our parents and had a busted internet Friday night. Now Steve is having rough internet at my house. We'll see if we can get it working again. Tyler will be joining us here soon. Last night was such a great game. Obviously the two old guys loved watching the two 40-year-olds duke it out. That was so much fun. And yeah, these Thursday night games have just been delivering week after week after week. I think we do need to do a little unplug the modem, get a little reboot situation for the future. Because it's not working with both of us here today. We got Kicks in here. Happy Friday to you as well. So Steve, we're trying to riff a little because we're waiting for Tyler to jump in before we jump into our favorite props. But before we get started, you and I, the Schaub siblings, both have a season-long sweat in the best ball streets. I know this is a betting show. And again, be sure you're subscribed to the Fanspeak Network. We're doing NFL content for DFS, Underdog Dailies, of course, best ball in the summer, and NFL betting. So best ball dailies, DFS, and NFL betting every single weekday. We got the Degen dads tonight at 9:30. Make sure you're subscribed because we've got a ton of great content here. And check out our Substack, link in the description. We send out stuff every single day for DFS, Underdog, and of course, NFL bets. So this is an NFL betting show, but Steve and I have a very exciting sweat. Myself in the marathon, Steve on drafters. He's got a really high team in the drafters main, and he is in first place in the drafters mini. I am currently in first place in the marathon. And Steve, if you're able to hear me, we really leaned into the season long best ball this year. And it's so exciting to have a sweat starting at, we still have 2/3 of the season to go, but any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's been an exciting first start to the season. I think we're both primed in some good positions, and in particular in the marathon and for me the drafters season long streets. And no, I think we're looking forward to keep grinding and hope our teams are getting through.
Yeah, Chiato in here saying good luck. Thank you. Yeah, it's I'd rather be chased than a chaser. And so hopefully, our teams can stay healthy, keep cooking. But we were very excited because, again, we leaned into that content here on the channel and our Substack this summer with the whole season long best ball format. And yeah, I hope the sweat continues because I really like the team. So appreciate you, Chiato, and appreciate you, Mike. Meg's got a high scoring team. Steve's got a high scoring team. I got high. I think I missed something, copied you guys all summer. Mike, I'm sure you're going to have some winners this year. We believe in you and your teams as well. So Steve, we will start and get into it. But actually, before we get into the props specifically, give another minute, see if Tyler's going to jump in here soon. Obviously, there's a couple games like Washington, Dallas off the top of my head is the biggest one. But are you really honing in on that for props and parlays this week? Or are there other spots that you're seeing that you really like?
I mean, I would have loved to hone in on the Washington Dallas game, but everyone's hurt.
Yeah,
um,
that's
I
wild
just
about
I just
Terry
saw
already
both.
ruled out.
I just saw both Debo and Zach Ertz are now listed as questionable.
Ertz too. Okay, well, he was on my list. So who is going to
So
play for Washington? Oh boy. Okay.
yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. So that's something we can pivot if when we get clarity, like say Debo's out. Yeah, you can take some shots on like a Luke McCaffrey or Jalen Lane. Hopefully Ertz plays, but and then we're that the Dallas side, we do have Lamb coming back and makes things a little interesting on that side for sure. But as for other games, yeah, I am looking at some just more, not necessarily games, just like key players, key receivers, key quarterbacks, and running backs.
Mike Ross says Ben Sinnott season finally. Oh man, I mean, for best ball bags as a whole, I hope Ertz plays, and it just would be such a good spot. But maybe we do see Ben Sinnott. That is wild. Just the Washington injuries, and as Steve and I own a lot of Dak best ball bags, we want there to be major pushback too. So yeah, that is my 412 place teams needs to not. Yeah, that is wild stuff. Because we were excited to stack that up in DFS. We were certainly excited to tack it in. Dallas is the team you target, and now Jaden has really nobody outside of JCM, and I liked JCM rushing because you certainly like his obviously matchup as well. But if they can just stack the box and make him throw to these tertiary receivers, that's rough. This is rough. This is not ideal. I will have to say, as far as like an overarching theme for bets this week, I don't love this slate as much as I've loved the other slates. And hey, some last week wasn't great for us. The week before was amazing. So, obviously you're going to have ebbs and flows. The goal is to be profitable long-term. We did find, obviously still hit a couple parlays last week, a small Dak, little ladder. We hit the Monday night parlay, but we need to bounce back. This week 6 was rough. Week 5 was good, great, amazing. So let's find a way to bounce back, Steve. And we'll have Tyler jump in when he gets here and give us his winners. But Steve, let's first talk about what props we're eyeing. All right, Steve, I'll go to you first here. And then if Tyler jumps in, we'll get to him too. But what props are you eyeing up? And again, very hard because I had written down multiple Washington plays that I'm now questioning.
Yeah, so the first one I'm going to target is a guy from the Bears, Rome Odunze. It does sound like DJ Moore will play. He's off the injury report. But, Odunze is still the number one on this team. And yes, they're going to work in Burden. They're going to work in Loveland. But Odunze is the number one. His opportunities in both like total targets and air yards are fantastic. His touchdown equity is great. So across the board, he is clearly the Bears' number one and their future. And this is a good matchup. And since he did kind of have a down week last week because of refs and Caleb missing a few things, I think they go right back to him, get him back involved. You can get plus money at 70 plus. He could have had that on 2 catches last week.
You and I were watching that game and so frustrated that Caleb missed him wide open because we both need him in the marathon / drafters format. So that was absolutely brutal.
Yeah, so it is. That's my number one, and it's also one I'm probably going to be okay laddering up to 80, 90. You can go 100. I know he's only had, I believe, 100-yard game this season, but this is a really strong matchup. We just saw, the Patriots do anything they wanted through the air against the Saints. So I like targeting this matchup quite a bit.
Yeah. In chat, Chiato just mentioned we did sign Traylon Burks. Steve had called him like obviously two Rava play a couple years ago. Now he works his way over here. So not much hope there, but we will see. Yeah, I do wonder. I'm assuming lines aren't available yet. I'm sure there's not much currently available for Washington, the Washington side. Yeah, no, there's no Washington lines, obviously, with waiting on final news on Ertz and Debo. But I will say, like you said, Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, just to keep your eye out kind of deal, to see what they offer. McCaffrey especially has had some major splash plays now 3 weeks in a row. So I am intrigued to kind of stay tuned for that. Mike says, in charge, Meg doesn't have the same chaos feeling as last week. Yeah, I did not do well last week when I did not have control. That is for sure. We got our guy Legion 13 in here. And Paul, when you were in the draft with us, I didn't realize you were on Cam Scattaboo over 40%. When you said 42%, I thought this meant last week, or excuse me, this week in Battle Royales. You're 42%. We looked up, shout out to BBMDB. You are a major bag holder like us. We love it. Let's go, Scattaboo. Hopefully he can still kick ass this week against the Broncos. So happy Friday. Here's a prop bet for you. Does my limb team's wide receiver score more than 5 points? Oh, Puka injured, Zay by Debo injured, Mooney, Jaden Higgins, Palmer, Slay. Oh, wow. That is, I mean, this is why baseball is tricky, I mean, wow, that is absolutely rough.
It sounds like Mooney should be able to play. So Debo, Mooney, and Higgins could be your 3 wide receivers.
Oh, we lost you again, Steve. Okay, now
Sorry
you're back.
about that. But yeah, so no, that's a tough one, Paul. I was talking to that with Meg. Like, I have some rooms that aren't in like a limb, but are like that right now. That I'm praying Jaden Higgins gets 10 points this week.
This is rough. Yeah, I have to say, like, looking through this honestly, this entire slate, things do not jump out to me like they have in past weeks, and whether that's, good or bad. But I'm going to go to the London game. But I like your Rome call out for sure. Obviously love that matchup for Caleb, for sure. Hopefully he hits Rome this week. But the London game, Devontae Adams needs to be wide receiver 1. He's still absolutely, looks like a wide receiver 1 out there, even with Puka. Now Puka's out. He's going to be, obviously even more targeted, and he's been super efficient this year. Obviously has a lot of red zone targets too, but you do have to go to 90, but 90 plus money, Devontae Adams, yes, there's Tutu. There's other guys that like Whittington and Tutu that are going to need to step in as well. But I feel like it's going to be really funneled to Devontae Adams the most. And, his lines were around like 70. I like going to 90 here against the Jaguars. And I'll just do like a kind of dual pick. BTJ, we kind of saw the breakout last week. 70 plus, you're getting minus 101 at DraftKings. Shop that around. But, I don't know that I'm going to make any of these official plays, but I do think I'll have a London parlay with Devontae 90, BTJ 70, probably another pick or so. What do you think about the London plays, Steve?
Good place. The side of that. My next pick is another receiver, and that is my guy Cortland Sutton. He, 60 is minus 112. This is on DK. 70 is plus money. 80 is plus money. I mean, we see this guy. He had a tough game last week in London against the Jets, but he's back and now facing a Giant secondary that has gotten shredded. I mean, both AJ Brown and Devonta Smith could have easily gotten there last week. And, we saw Rashid Shaheed, big game, couple games prior to that. Time and time again, Giants have struggled through the air. Makes sense. Their secondary is their weakest. I think even one of their pass rush, Carter, I think is even banged up. So I'm not even sure if he's going to go. But Cortland Sutton, I think at 70 and 80, I really like him in this matchup and having a big game to bounce back from the London game.
No, I like the Sutton call out, and I wrote it down, but I was going to leave it for you because I knew how much when we were doing our Battle Royale drafts, you like Sutton this week. All right, let's bring our guy in. We got Tyler here. He's ready to rock for some week 7 bets. Tyler, first of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling for week 7?
I'm feeling good. Sorry for being late.
No worries.
A little late. Had to deal with the dog, but I made it. It's time to give out some winners.
That's all that matters. Making it.
And then coming off of last night's, typical Steeler game. I hate that team so much.
The Thursday night.
The moment they start to get built up like they're something, they lose to something that's nothing.
I saw a lot of
Best
Steeler
receiver in the NFL. Why cover him? 23 targets, 16 catches.
Interesting defensive strategy.
It was
Someone's an idiot, and somehow he'll just keep getting away with it.
I mean, Joe Flacco knew the assignment. Hey, how about you target T. Higgins and Jamar Chase?
You want to know why Joe Flacco knew the assignment, Meg?
Yeah.
Because dumbass Mike Tomlin hasn't changed his scheme since Joe Flacco played in Baltimore.
Well, I'm sorry last night was rough for Steelers fans, but as just a pure NFL fan, I loved watching the 240-year-olds just go back and forth. I mean, there wasn't much defense last night, but it was definitely another fun Thursday night banger for non-Steelers fans. But yes, sorry about that. But again, you're here. That's all that matters. You're going to give winners. That's all that matters. So what is your favorite, jumping into like props and stuff? What is some of your favorite looks this week?
My favorite look was Judkins over 84.5.
Yeah,
now with the weather implications and everyone betting the over there, I believe he's up to about like 94. I kind of still like the over there because he's going to run the ball 30 times. He is going to rush through this Miami defense. And me and Holden found another way you can do it. He probably finds the end zone this game. His touchdown in 60 yards is plus 106. That's an easy way to get on him without going all the way up to 100. But that's one of my favorite ones. And my second favorite one's Amon-Ra St. Brown over 71.5. I don't know if you guys talked about that one yet.
No, I like
playing Tampa Bay off a loss. He went for 18 targets, 11 catches, $118 against his team last year. He's probably going to find a lot of openings off a loss too. They're going to want to get back in the win column. And what better way than to target your best weapon? Coming off a game where he had multiple drops too, which he just doesn't do. So I think he bounces back in a big way.
No, I like that. I like that look a lot. Mike Robb says you're already having an A+ show, jumping in there with some Steelers fire, giving us winners right off the jump. Okay, I'm going to go to. They have the line down. I'm not sure if they have it on FanDuel. I was looking for Michael Mayer, obviously Brock Bowers. With Brock Bowers out, I was looking to target Michael Mayer in this spot, but it appears all the receiving lines are currently down for that. So just like the Washington players, another one to just keep an eye out on Michael Mayer. My next one then will be, let me go to find it here, the 4:00 game. I'm going to go Cam Scatterbo receiving here, 20 plus receiving for Cam Scatterbo. You can get plus money there. Denver Broncos defense, hard for quarterbacks to run on, even though Dart has gotten over 50 plus rushing yards. The recipe I'm looking for when I want to target Scatterbo receiving is, of course, negative game script, first and foremost. That's why we didn't get there in the Philly game. Thought it was going to be a negative game script. It wasn't, but much like the Saints game, I do think this is going to be a negative game script, and I think it's going to be hard for Dart to run. So I like Cam Scatterbo receiving 20 plus. How can I not have a week with some kind of Cam Scatterbo prop? So that's mine. Steve, what's your next one?
So my next one is I feel like the biggest revenge narrative maybe we will ever see is going to be Mike Vrabel going back to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee just fired their staff. Give me, and I saw Steph Diggs has popped up on the questionable report, but give me Drake May. Drake May plus 240 or 240 plus 110. I don't care what the game script is. I don't care what the score is. I think he's throwing. I think he's going to put up big numbers in this game. And also he's just been playing excellent football, just absolutely excellent football. Last week they kind of slowed down in the second half. I just don't know if they do that this game. So 240 feels really good. Obviously I hope Diggs is there. I think that makes it even better, but I just think this Tennessee secondary and team in general is bad. They quit on their last coach. I don't see why they wouldn't be quitting on this. They just feel really a mess right now. Absolute shit show.
Yeah. Everywhere I want to target is lines are closed right now for my guys. Tyler, do you have another one you're looking at?
The other one I was looking at the Drake May one. That's a good call, Steve.
Yeah,
but
I love that.
Another one, I don't mind looking at Saquon this week. Like getting that Minnesota defense. We watched the last 3 running backs run right through this team.
Right.
He's got a little extended rest too. They're coming back from London. I think it's a spot where, and you're getting Saquon at 75.5. We were getting that in the 80s and even the low 90s to start the year. This might be the buy low spot on Saquon. He might just run right through this defense. So it's 75.5. I kind of like the over there.
I like that. No, I like that look a lot. I think this is definitely a bounce back spot for Saquon, and definitely like approaching him there. Sorry, I lost my spot here. Okay. My next one is J.K. Dobbins, 70 plus. Steve, I agree with you on Sutton, but I also like Dobbins in this spot. Again, likely a positive game script for Denver, opposite of targeting Cam Scatterbo receiving. Let's target Dobbins rushing. Obviously had a difficult matchup last week, but now has a great matchup against the Giants in a likely very positive game script. So give me Dobbins 70 plus. Steve, what do you have next?
This is one I will admit it scares the hell out of me, but give me Justin Fields 230 plus rushing plus plus passing.
Steve, this is scary.
So 230 yards for that. But also let me add the rushing in there because he could just run for 60, 70 yards. The Carolina defense, their run defense is actually pretty good. So I think they box up Breece Hall actually a fair amount. But scrambling quarterback's a different animal, and I think they will have to throw, and the Panthers will probably get some points on them. So I know he's coming off a 55-yard game and a total of like 80 yards, but give me Justin Fields 230 combined passing and rushing.
That is brave. That is brave after what we watched in London last week. Mike Robb said MVS was placed on IR. Go give Steve a hug, Meg. Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, things are tough.
Yeah. Thank God the Scatterboo bags have been very good, kind to us, but the old man bags or the old receiver bags aren't going as well. But hey, it's not those. You don't need to worry about those late picks when you're hammering and hitting a lot of the early and mid ones. So I have a couple. Roman Wilson last night, Tyler, Steve and I were like, we had a Roman Wilson sighting. I went back to the well.
Real, Meg. He is real.
He is real.
I'm still not convinced. I'm to start the conspiracy theory that him and Scotty Miller are the same person. They're just swapping jerseys on the sideline. They were never on the field together.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah, no, my late receivers, I took some shots that were not, similar to MVS, and Roman Wilson was one of them that I had high hopes for. But hey, we did see proof of life last night. So maybe we get a little more of that. All right. I have a couple more that I can't find lines for. So it's kind of like the Washington receivers and Michael Mayer that just stay on the lookout for once we get official news. Kendrick Bourne is like Mac Jones's freaking bestie. Like he targets him like he is literally the second coming of Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. So I want to see what Bourne's line is when all news is official with the 49ers injury report. That's one. And that's obviously if both Pearsall and Jennings are out, or obviously Jennings we think is going to play again, but he has like 5 broken ribs. So that's one that I'm looking at. Josh Jacobs receiving. He has just become this like absolutely maniac in the receiving game, which was atypical from last
with another injury.
Yeah.
Did he?
Okay. Within like the last 5 minutes. He says he listed questionable with an illness as of 17 minutes ago. And then 7 minutes ago, he's also dealing with a calf injury in addition to the illness.
Jeez. This week is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like any guy I'm thinking about, or like the trickle down effects of any guy. It's like out, hurt, questionable.
I don't mean to jump in while you're breaking down yours, but
no, I love how much.
What do we want to do with Rashee Rice? He's healthy. He's off of suspension, so we're not worried about like workload or anything. He's been practicing. They said they want to give him the whole workload once he comes back. We're getting, what is this?
74.5
on his yards and 5.5 on his receptions. That 5.5 might be 7.5 before we realize it. We might only get a few weeks to bet this.
Yeah. Do you like approaching it from 5.5 or
yeah, because I just think it's all underneath. All those drag routes that he wasn't using as much with Juju running them and Marquise Brown, I think they go back to them with Rice there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just kind of like you said, this is the spot to like jump on it early. It is just like, I don't think they're going to need much push. I don't think they're going to get much pushback against from the Raiders, but Raiders do play Chiefs tough. They have the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So
We've seen divisional games over last night.
Mike says, yes,
Yep.
divisional games. There are just certain teams that play divisional teams really tough. We have 48 hours till game time where she could still get arrested again. That is true. He also asked what kind of alcohol I have in the house. Steve and I hit the bourbon part last night. Steve, again, very excited. Steve's visiting me in Baltimore. Hit bourbon for the game, and whoa, feeling it today. But Steve, I don't know, have you drank any bourbon today for the Crazy Fields pick?
I'm not. But it's
a fair question, though, Mike. It's honestly, it's a fair question. So yeah, I'm just having like look out for. Didn't realize Jacobs. I knew there was the illness thing, but every time it's like an illness, these guys play, and it seemed fine.
Oh, the calf definitely worries me way more.
Yeah, I didn't realize the calf. So, okay, that sucks. So didn't realize that. Keep an eye out on the Bourne, keep an eye on the Washington receivers, keep an eye on Michael Mayer, but we'll see what the lines are and look for, of course, link in the description to join our Substack. We send out our picks on Saturday, parlays on Saturday. So that will all go out tomorrow. Do you guys have, I had like one or two other that I was more just wanting to get feedback from you guys. Do you guys have anything else?
What do we think about Jonathan Taylor in this matchup with the Chargers?
I don't mind Jonathan Taylor. I know it's a big number, but I don't mind Jonathan Taylor. We saw JCM gash him a couple weeks ago. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think they just are going to keep riding him. And they know he's the back to MVP level. They got rid of Anthony Richardson, and this guy is carrying their offense.
The other ones that I was considering, because I do think sometimes it's good to just like talk it through, to them, but then before you decide to finally land on it, once injury reports are out and everything, is sorry, I lost it. Goddard 50 plus, the type of coverage that the Vikings play kind of leads to where Goddard gets a lot of targets. He's obviously been like a go-to, but I feel like at any given point, it could be like squeaky wheel with the other receivers. It's just, it is, the Eagles do make me nervous. They do feel broken. The offensive coordinator feels busted, but I don't know. What do you think, Tyler? Do you have any interest in Goddard?
I mean, he seems like basically wide receiver one for him. The two main guys don't seem like they can get the ball to them in the right places. And Goddard's running all the routes to where Hurts isn't having trouble throwing the ball 5 yards in front of him. So I mean, I don't hate that call. And Minnesota's defense has just been Swiss cheese since they first arrived overseas 2 weeks ago. And I don't think it's going to change. So I wouldn't be surprised if Philly's offense kind of bounces back this week and they kind of hit us with the game of like, oh, maybe we're not as broken as we thought, and they scored 35 to 40 points this week. Right.
Yeah, no, that would not surprise me at all either. The other two that I was considering, wanted your guys' feedback, was Coker, going to play Jalen Coker, the Cokeheads out there, 25 plus minus 107 on DraftKings. I don't know, you can probably get like 30 plus for plus money on FanDuel. What do you guys think? Do you similar to the Rice thing, but a much lower number, jump on it early before seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, especially if Sauce is locking up T-Mac. Coker could just be the chain mover and get kind of peppered with targets underneath. So, yeah, I don't hate it. I do know like Jatavian Sanders is probably back as well. So they're just deeper all around.
And then my final, like, what do you guys think is, I was very interested in JCM's rushing line, but if everybody's out in the passing game, like Ertz and Debo, that makes me nervous. He's also, the fumbling issues made me nervous too. 70 plus minus 109. What do you guys, Tyler, what are your thoughts on Bill getting a great matchup? Everybody has a great matchup in the Dallas-Washington game, but what do you think about him?
I don't hate it. It's like more of a bounce back week for him. My worry would be the fumbles. The fact that they've never really clear cut one of those guys as the RB1. Like it looked like it was starting to become Bill, but then he has the fumbling problems. What if they just revert back to what they were doing before the Charger game, to where Bill didn't play until the third or fourth drive of the game? And if one of the other two does good, they kind of hold that role. It's just one of those spots I just don't. Maybe a live bet would be better, because if he misses those first two drives, you're going to get a discounted number.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'd wait on that.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously his like share of the backfield has gone up each week, even with the fumbles, but it is nervous that like you do feel like you could get the rug pulled out from under you at any moment if he fumbles early, or like you said, if they do
Mick Nichols breaks a 50-yard run, it's like, oh, we got a hot hand now.
Hot hand, yeah. Yeah, no, it does make, I don't feel comfortable with it, but it's like you want to be able to take advantage of something in that game because both defenses you can target, and now there's no Washington receivers to target. So Paul says, and then we will get to touchdowns after this. Seems crazy to me. Over 10% of the Rashee Rice teams in BBM are currently advancing if the season ended today. That is interesting. And again, shout out to BBMD for the amazing database that shows that kind of stuff with advance rates and which players are on the advancing teams and whatnot. Very, very interesting stuff. So, all right. Do you guys have it? Those were kind of my bounce ideas off you, get feedback. Did you guys have any other looks that you wanted to talk about?
Nope, that's it for me.
I have one more.
Okay.
I have one more that I'd go to, and that's Tyler mentioned the Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to look at the other side and go with Justin Herbert, 260 plus. The Colts secondary is extremely banged up, and Chargers getting Quentin Johnston back. Joe Alt's still likely to miss. He's doubtful, but I just think they're going to have to throw. We saw this last week against the Dolphins. And, last week against the Dolphins, Kamani Vidal was able to rack up a bunch of yards. Well, probably not going to happen against the Colts run defense, which has been a lot better.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair look. Makes sense. All right, we covered the props. Now we're going to go to touchdowns, and then we will go to parlays. So let's talk.
Watch out! He's got getting away from the top speed. Touchdown!
All right, touchdown time. Tyler, I'll go to you first. What touchdowns are you eyeing up this week?
I'm just going to buy low on a guy we talked about buying low on earlier. How often are you going to get a Saquon touchdown at minus 115?
I was thinking the same thing. Yep. I like that. I mean, we're not going to get that price. So
no, it just feels like a 1 week thing. Like he punches 2 in the end zone this week and boom, he's back to minus 170.
Yep. Absolutely. Steve, what are you liking?
I mean, first one I'm going to go to is the Patriots game. He didn't get there last week, but Hunter Henry, he's always getting end zone targets. Again, Diggs might miss. I think they run up the score here. And we just saw Michael Mayer have a good game against the Titans. And I think you can do whatever you want against Titans defense. So I think Hunter Henry gets back in the box at plus 170.
Like that. Similar to, and Tyler's kind of already covered this, but I have to shout it out that I don't think many points are getting scored in the Dolphins Cleveland Browns game in that sounds like insanely bad weather and winds, but it likely will come on the ground, and you're getting Judkins minus 115. I liked Tyler's call out of doing Judkins touchdown and like 60. So then you get like a little plus money, but I'll just throw out that minus 115 for the RB1, who's got an insanely good matchup. Every running back has absolutely destroyed the Dolphins on the ground. Minus 115 in a game where they're going to have to keep it on the ground. I like that a lot. Tyler, what is your next one?
I'm going to go with the returning guy. Give me CeeDee Lamb plus 120. I think it's a good matchup for him. He's coming back. I know it was an ankle sprain, but it's not one of those ones where he's just going to be limited or anything. I think he'll go out, play his full workload. And he's done well against his Washington team. So getting a plus 120 on him, I think, is a spot we take.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's similar to the Barkley thing in a way. It's just like we have to see it first. So you're getting the discount there. So I like that. And you can certainly target the Washington secondary. Steve, what do you got next?
For me, I'm going to go back to a guy that has hit the last couple of weeks. Tyler Warren. He is becoming the Colts' #1 guy. Josh Downs is out. So I think, sometimes his yardage can be tougher to get just being a tight end, and maybe they just lean more heavily on the run, but they do lean on Tyler Warren in and around the end zone. So plus 145, I think, is a good price for him.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to stay on brand here. And I talked about this in a CBS show the other day, that when you get an RB1, similar to getting minus 115 on Judkins, when you get an RB1 at even money or plus money, Scatabo is still even money. He scored 3 touchdowns against the Eagles. Yes, I know Carter was out, and I know the Broncos defense is tough, but he's going to get any potential high value touches. And when you're getting even money for that, I do like that. Tyler, any other looks that you're eyeing up? I think
I'm on mute, no good. But I got a long shot. I wouldn't go betting a unit or anything on this, maybe like a quarter of a unit. He played 14 snaps. He ran 5 routes last week for the Panthers, and he gained 2 targets. He's a big play guy. Jimmy Horn, 13-1 to score a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
At some point, they are going to drop a play for this dude. This dude's got lightning speed behind him. They're going to drop a play where he gets downfield, and Bryce is going to launch one, and he's going to come down with it and probably run to the end zone with it. So 13-1 on a kid like that, I'll take a shot on that. They're slowly working him into the offense, too. I think this could be a spot for him.
Yeah,
Coker's coming back to run the slot routes, too, so they could put him on the outside and let him just burn one of these corners.
Right. All right. Steve, what else do you have?
So, I will preface this. This is if for some reason Jacobs misses, I think you should jump in on Tucker Kraft and Matthew Golden. Kraft has multiple touchdowns on the year, and Golden has just seen much more usage. I don't know if I'm going to do it right now. If so, like a small amount, I think is fine. Because we know if Jacobs plays, he's such a touchdown machine. But you're getting better money now than if he does get rolled out. So I just want to mention that. But the one that I will point to is a guy I mentioned and in the game you just talked about with the Giants, and that's the Cortland Sutton. Plus 145. He's one of the best end zone, red zone guys in the league. Like I said, I think this is a bounce back week for him against a bad Giants secondary. And plus 145 for him is a good price.
Yeah, I'm going to go to wrap up mine. And I will say that, you could also jump. I did consider saying Rice because you're getting him at plus 125. But, they are kind of an embarrassment of riches of how many, now options they have in the receiving game. But that is interesting. But what I'm going to say is we're going to do National Tight Ends Day a couple of weeks early. I think it's in like 2 weeks, maybe a week or 2. But, we've mentioned a couple tight ends here with Henry and Warren. What about Goddard? I mean, I know I mentioned his receiving, but you're getting plus 260 for Goddard. I do like, Tyler mentioned it. Maybe the Eagles just get right here. And maybe not, but if they do, and Saquon can score, Goddard has been like a go-to, target in the end zone, target in the red zone, target in the end zone. They've been doing those little, plays underneath, which obviously has sometimes takes away from Barkley too. But yeah, I like Goddard when you're getting a plus 260 on him. Do you guys have anything else? I'm scrolling through to see if I like anything else.
Nothing major. I mean, if you don't like my Justin Fields bet before, I think plus 150 for his rushing touchdown is good. I don't know how they score points, so
yeah,
but it's probably going to be Justin Fields running.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Any other bets? And, we talk about like wanting to target the Washington Dallas game. We talked about in DFS. Now we're talking about in this, but like so many are questionable now with McLaurin out, Debo and Ertz questionable. I like the Lamb call at plus money. Do you like even going back to anything else on the Dallas side? Ja'Cory Crossing merits minus 120 or taking a long shot before potential guys are ruled out, like on a Jalen Lane or Luke McCaffrey is plus 255. He's been kind of having a nose for big plays.
What's up with Ertz? I
didn't even realize he was questionable until Steve just talked about it.
Now, this is just me looking at the numbers and how this would play out. He's plus 105 to score a touchdown. If he misses, direct backup's Ben Sinnott, right?
I believe so. Would he still get the receiving work, Steve, I assume?
Or would it be John Bates? It's one of these two.
John Bates, I
actually
think
don't know because they use that.
Oh, Steve's freezing up.
I think he's going to talk about Colson Yankoff.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. Because that's the other tight end in the room. But for instance, Ertz is plus 105. These 3 backup tight ends are 7-1, and the other 2 are 10-1. If he misses, will those prices get halved? Because one of those guys is going to be on the field. It's got a high total of almost 50. We know Jaden loves his tight ends. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys finds the box if Ertz doesn't play. The only problem is if you bet him now when Ertz plays,
Yeah,
dead.
It's dead. It's nothing. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's tough because I wish we could have heard because Steve would know like the direct backup for that. And is it Sinat or is somebody else working in? I actually don't know because he is just honestly dominated when, obviously getting targets from Jaden and everything and getting obviously the routes and everything. So I don't know. I do wonder if like betting McCaffrey early makes sense. Like he's kind of made splash plays already. Steve, any thoughts on the Washington backup tight ends?
Yeah, I mean they've utilized that Colston Yakov more than one would expect. So I don't know if Sinnott just walks into the Ertz role.
Yeah. So yeah, and like you said, if Ertz does play, then that slips kind of dead. I kind of like the Luke McCaffrey, thing. Just that if even one of Ertz underneath or Debo is out, then I feel like he'll just get even more utilization. And he's already obviously been making these splash plays, even with Debo and Ertz playing. So if just one of them's out, I feel like plus 255 feels like a decent value for it. I don't know. What do you think about that, Steve, as a Washington fan?
Yeah, if Ertz is out, I would definitely be taking shots at Luke McCaffrey or Jalen Lane. And I mean, if Debo's out, I'd take shots on both of them. I mean, somebody's going to get the ball.
If Debo and Ertz miss, that's over 50% of their targets from last week just gone. The only guys that got targets last week at that point would be Chris Moore had 5, Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey each had 1, Corksky Merritt had 1, and Jeremy McNichols had 4. There wouldn't be another soul on that team that took a target last week.
I thought McCaffrey, he only had 1. I thought he had more
one target. He had 14 routes ran.
He had another one that was called back to penalty.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Okay. Got it. Okay. Oof. This is tough sledding. For this game, which I was so excited about. And now,
I know this was a prop show and all, and you guys are Commanders fans, but like, isn't this like the spot? I know it's Dallas too. So like nobody wants to back Dallas with what they've looked like this year. Washington is legit limping into this matchup. They're going to be missing so much on offense. Jaden's going to be out there with nothing.
Yeah.
And then you look on the other side, everyone's walking back in the door healthy. And you're getting the side that's getting healthy at the underdog price at home. I think I might bet Dallas and just get frustrated on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, I hate to say it as a Washington fan, but I think that's fair. It makes sense, especially given
what better way to start my NFL week? Bet the Steelers on Thursday, they lose, and then bet with Dallas and they lose.
Legion 13 says this is the first week Luke outscores Christian. For my best ball bags, I hope not, because I have a ton of CMC. But this is wild stuff. Unless it's just the fact that Luke puts up a monster day. But yeah, all right. So we covered like Saquon, Judkins, Lamb, Scatterbo, some tight ends, and Henry, Warren, Goddard, Sutton. I think we have a lot of good looks. I really thought I'd like more, honestly. But it's just this slate is kind of tough. Any other final thoughts before we get to the parlays?
That's it for me.
Justin said, did I miss any Steelers rants? I'm guessing from a mini one. Yeah, from the big jump. Yeah, you did. He basically summary, same old Steelers, same old Tomlin. Right, Tyler?
Same old dumb shit. Same old every 3 minutes of us just giving the game away. They panned to Tomlin. He's like staring up at the scoreboard just so like he's intrigued by it. It's like, you gonna do something?
He said it's recorded, got it down. So, and Mike Robb said he already has a Bourbon Steve Pick'em in the Discord. And by the way, if you'd like to join us with Discord, trying to get our folks over in Substack to join us on Discord, link in the description to join our Substack, $34.99 for the entire year. That means you'll get best ball in the spring and summer, and you'll get all this NFL in-season content. We send stuff out daily on Substack then you get access to our Discord. Join us there. Mike Rob's already putting in a Steve Bourbon pick'em slip. I like it, Mike Rob. I can't wait to check that out. All right, now let's go to the parlays portion of the show. And Tyler, cook up your favorite parlay for week 7.
I'll cook up a little 2-legger for this week, Meg. I'm not very intrigued by them this week. Like, there's not very good matchups, so it's really hard to get out there and just get in front of these olds. So I'll just go a little simple 2-legger. I think Drake May has a big game. I think Daniel Jones has a big game. 250 on both of them gets you a 6-1 ticket on DK. Just keep it simple this week. They both throw for 250.
I like it. Steve put that out last night at 2-leg quarterback for the slate. That are two 40 plus year old guys slinging it last night. He said bet 2 passing touchdowns for both because neither has an amazing running game or kind of like hammers near the goal line. Sure enough, obviously 4 for Rodgers, 3 for, you could have laddered it up, but I know Steve bet that, and sometimes it's just good to take a look at a couple.
And if you want to get cute, because they're both mobile, they both score a touchdown on top of the 250 is 80-1.
There it is. Okay. Hey, it could happen. It absolutely could happen. Now I want to do that for sure. Steve, what are you looking at for your parlay of the week?
Yeah. I mean, I'm agreeing with Tyler. This tough one. So many 3-leg touchdown, and kind of in the same thing. Like, let's just keep it simple. And I'm gonna go Hunter Henry, Cortland Sutton. And I was debating between my guy Rome Odunze or Tyler Warren. I'll keep it with Tyler Warren since I mentioned him in the touchdown department. 3 legs plus 15-20 on DraftKings. So that's, these are 3 guys all very live for a touchdown.
Okay. No, I like that. Okay. So a 3-leg touchdown pick. I'm going to do a little London action because I kind of mentioned how I liked both BTJ and Devontae, obviously soaking up all of Puka's absence. So just do Devontae 90 plus yards, BTJ 70 plus yards. And I'm going to go back. I want to be here early for when the Travis Hunter happens. I still do believe it's going to happen. I'm even going to keep it to 40 yards, 6-1, 6 plus 625, Devontae 90, BTJ 70, Hunter 40. I know we were on Hunter, didn't get there last week, but he still was running a ton of routes, getting targets. It's just didn't land with him like he did the week prior against the Chiefs. So a little London parlay there. And if for some reason you think it goes under, then throw an alt under in there, and you can definitely, by being high on the over props, you will get a fun little anti-correlated there. So all right. Mike says, I know it's minus 250, but I got the Ravens to lose and score under 10 points this week on the bye. I like it. Mike Rob. Okay. Do you guys want to build a lotto before we do a $5 lotto each week? Push the hell out of one guy each. What do you think? Yeah. Tyler, you go first. What is the guy that you want to push the hell out of this week?
I'm going to go ahead and just plant my flag, and I'll be the last leg of this parlay. Just give me a Monroe to have 100 receiving yards.
Okay. So on Monday, that's Monday night, right?
Yep. I'll plant my flag. If we get there, I'll be the last leg.
There we go. We sweat it out. Keep the sweat, going till Monday. Steve, what are you liking?
I'm going to go Rome Odunze 90 yards.
All right. Rome Odunze 90. Let me throw that in. What is that, Steve? Just out of curiosity. I'm
plus
trying to get
235 on DK.
Okay. 90 plus. I like that. Should have had that last week if Caleb wouldn't have missed him wide open. That was so tilting for my best ball bags. Trying to think which one I want to push the hell out of. And a lot of the guys I like aren't even available this week. Why don't we say in the crazy weather game against the worst run defense in the league, to target Judkins to just go absolutely ham on the ground. And I'll say 120 plus 242. Wait, that can't be right. Oh, okay. I did it wrong. So So it's a little over 10-1 with Rome and whatever. And I did it wrong to get the ASB in. Let me grab that now. So Rome 90, Judkins 120 on the ground against the Dolphins in some inclement weather. And then let's see, let me get that. Hopefully we got this thing carrying over to Monday for a Monday night sweat. Amon Ra, you said 100, right, Tyler?
Yep.
Okay. 100, it brings it to 31-1. I think there might be some kind of boost on one of the sites. So we'll throw that in. We'll throw it into Discord, of course, like we always do. And of course, all our other parlays, official props will be sent out to Substack tomorrow. So what else? So final thoughts for the people, Tyler, for week 7.
Yeah, I think it's a rough week. The matchup's not the best, but I think we identified some spots where these guys should have big games, and hopefully they crush and we win some money.
Absolutely. Steve, final thoughts for the people.
Yeah, no, I love Mike's comment here.
Yeah, Steve's laughing because I hate British guys' accents.
Still,
I got a Steve background laugh. That's all I need. Okay.
We have to keep an eye on still some of these injury reports, but I do think we kind of see where we want to go. And we gave some pivot things, like if Jacobs is out, do this. If Ertz and Debo are out, go here. So yeah, I look at those things, and I still think we know the right kind of games and offenses to target.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I think you guys both kind of covered it. It's a rough week as far as injuries, a lot of blowout or big spreads. It doesn't really lend itself to loving a lot of SGPs or, the back and forth game environments like we had last night. So it is a tough week, but I think still found some spots. We will send out our official plays. This has been fun as always. Be sure to stay tuned for Degen Dads tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Come back here, hang out with Andrew and Justin, putting out the winners in an entertaining, fun way, having some drinks, putting out winners. Be sure to be back for that. So good luck for week 7. For Tyler, for Steve, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.